This is Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I am your host, KG Smooth, welcoming from the Houston Community College. We have Dr. Michael Edwards, who is the chair at HCC and a part of the Black History Month Committee. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Also, Ms. Debra McGaughey, who is the Director of Communications Service at HCC Central. Good morning.
Thank you.
And welcoming back the lovely Dr. Carolyn Davis, who is the Chair Speaker of Logistics at HCC for the Black History Community. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
And on the phone line, we have the Honorable Reverend Jesse Jackson. Good morning, sir.
Good to be with the family this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Reverend Jackson, how excited are you to be a part of Houston Community College Black History
Whenever
Scholarship?
I can use my resources to help inspire some youth to go to higher heights, it always is a blessed opportunity. I tell them all the time, the strong minds break strong chains, and that deep water does not drown. You drown when you stop kicking. So keep kicking and keep your mind strong. That's what education has as a function to do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Reverend Jackson, with our current president's low approval rating, and as of late, he has made some very divisive comments regarding places populated by people of color. What can we do as a community to counteract his political agenda and to work to unite the country?
Well, our agenda of hope and healing is a majority point of view. You know, we got the right to vote in 1965.
Mm-hmm.
Blacks had not been able to vote for 85 years, frankly. White women couldn't serve on juries across the South. 18-year-olds couldn't vote, those serving in Vietnam. You couldn't vote on college campuses. You couldn't vote bilingually. When those groups got the right to vote, we became the new majority. When we vote together, if Barack Obama can win in the White House, we vote together, Barbara Jordan can win, Mika Leland can win, Rod Ellis can win. When we vote together, good things come our way. And so I submit to you today that it's as dark as Trump has made the environment as ugly. We ran in Virginia, we ran in one, and the black is now lieutenant governor.
Mm-hmm.
In the darkest of times, we ran in Virginia. One guy embraced the Confederate and General Robert E. Lee. We ran on the other side. We won and got a black lieutenant governor in Virginia. In Alabama, one of every three votes was African American. So when we use our strength to not react but to vote, we make things happen.
Yeah, and not to mention that it was black women who prevented Roy Moore from getting that Senate seat in Alabama.
Exactly. Wow.
Well, black women have, for a long time, been the keystone to the voting process.
Oh, yeah.
Never recognized. But I really think it was the black family, black women and black students, but in coalition with whites who had the same ideas. At the end of the day, this is a tug of war for the soul of America. If you hold on to that rope, you and your allies, you can win. You win the big election with coalition. No one group can win the big election. It takes coalition to win the big election, coalitions.
Indeed. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to the Reverend Jesse Jackson. We are here with some members of the Houston Community College for their Black History Scholarship Gala.
Right. We're here. Mike is our chair, Mike Edwards, and we're just delighted that we are here to help the world and our city in particular know that the Reverend Jesse Jackson will be speaking to us. What message? I know you mentioned it a little bit, Reverend Jackson, but what message do you want to impart to community college students in particular? What about community college students?
Part of it, you cannot vote less than you have and spend more than you have and make sense at the same time. you must vote all you can and spend less than you have to accumulate. Secondly, Houston is the energy capital of the Western world. Largest open ports between Mobile and Houston. No energy as a science in Houston because the spin-offs around oil in Houston is a big deal. I think so often we end up getting the byproducts of energy, but from Africa to Houston, from upstream to downstream, Houston's the energy capital of the world. So please know that.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Very good. Very
Wonderful.
good.
Thank you. Reverend Jackson, this is Dr. Davis. I wanted to ask you, what would be your central theme when you deliver the keynote at our 2018 gala? And by the way, this is a gala that raises funds for scholarships for our African American students and students of African descent.
Well, basically, the thrust is you use what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cry about what you don't have. You can make it.
Right.
Much of our struggle is opportunity and will.
Oh, wow.
The opportunity to make a difference, but the will to fight back.
Exactly.
And we are the best basketball players in the world, the best football players in the world, because we're not born that way. We work at it. And we can slam dunk a thought like we slam dunk a ball if we work at it. I'll go to a given school, and I'll ask students, high school, how many days a week do you practice? They'll say 7. How many hours a day do you practice? 3 to 4 hours. Do you have radio on? Radio? No, sir. TV? No, sir. Can your girlfriends come to practice? They laugh. So, no. If you spend 7 days a week, 3 hours a day learning how to read, write, count, and how to program computers, we'll conquer the science of computation and programming as we do basketball. If that's our priority, I'm saying make education a cultural priority.
Wow.
Well, that
That's
leads to the
excellent.
next question.
That's excellent.
Do you think that community college should be free, as was suggested by former President Barack Obama?
Absolutely, it should be free. Right now, it's easy to go to jail than to go to college. That doesn't make sense.
Right. Right.
Because it's an investment. Education is an investment in today and tomorrow. And because we make education so expensive, we end up having importing youth from other countries called B1 workers. Education should be accessible, and the healthcare should be accessible, and jobs should pay.
You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Reverend Jesse Jackson, who will be the keynote speaker at Houston Community College's 2018 Black History Scholarship Gala, and that is happening
February 24th. It's a Saturday. It starts at 6 p.m. And it is at the Ballroom at Bayou Place, which is in downtown Houston. So if you know downtown, you know where the aquarium is, you know where the hobby center is. We're right in that mix. And we want folks to be there to hear the message that Reverend Jackson will deliver. And of course, the best way to do that, let's go to the website. And it's hccs.edu/Black History. And you get all the information you need right there. You can buy your tables and tickets right there.
Indeed.
Or
And I look forward to being there. And I hope I can shoot the street is hardened.
I want you to.
Go ahead, Dr. Edwards.
Or I wanted to add, Reverend Jackson, that you can also dial in,
Yes, you can.
713-718-5000. Again, that number is 713-718-5000. Don't miss it.
Now, Reverend Jackson, you ran for president twice. They were both historic runs. Where is the Democratic Party headed, do you think? Sometimes, when I sit and I watch the news at night, or I'm watching cable news and these talking heads, I often wish that the Democrats would be as strong as the Republicans. I mean, sometimes I really feel like they have no backbone, like they're jellybacks. Why are they so? Why don't they play the same way that they do?
Let me say real quick, it's not with the party. Where we headed. When we move, the whole party has to move. The party did not initiate the Montgomery bus boycott. We changed our mind. Everybody else's mind had to make an adjustment. Let us not forget, we're not the bottom, we're the foundation. The foundation moves, everything else has to move. The party did not decide the Birmingham confrontation. We moved.
Right.
The party did not determine the march on Washington. It didn't determine the march in Selma for the right to vote. It didn't determine my run, or Barack's run. When we make the party doesn't make us. So that with our own hopes and not our fears, we set the agenda for the country.
Exactly.
Are we still doing that though? Are they not following our lead? I mean, where are they is what I guess we were kind of curious about.
I must say, too many of us who need to vote are not registered. And therefore, if you're not a registered voter, you can't serve on juries. No one has earned the right to do less than their best. We do our best we win. And I submit to you today that those who are listening right now who need free education, they're not willing to vote and fight for it. They need Medicare, Medicaid, not willing to vote and fight for it. They need a decent house, not willing to fight for it. So I'm telling you, if we pick up our full armor and use all of our strength, we can win. We can become governor of Texas. We can become U.S. Senator from Texas. If we believe it, we can achieve it. We have the numbers and the need.
Well, Reverend Jackson, I wanted to ask, because one of the things that at HCC that we're really trying to do is engage more of our youth. How can we engage youth in becoming more civic minded, and then, of course, moving as they become of age into the mindset of becoming a voter and contributor to the community?
You know, when students send the application in to apply to the school, you should ask them, are they a registered voter? Being a registered voter should account for points.
Wow, that's awesome.
But no one should come to your school that's not registered to vote, for example. Every high school senior class should come across the stage with a diploma in one hand and a voter card in the other.
Wow.
And we have to teach civic education in a masterful way. Every high school senior who's 9, 17, will be 18 months over, can register and vote in the primaries this year.
Right. Wow.
Can do it right now. Everybody at that school who expect to graduate should have a diploma in one hand and a voter card in the other, because they're taught that.
Wow. That's powerful.
Reverend Jackson, on a day-to-day basis, what drives you? What are the things that you see that you need to address every day? I mean, you go to your Rainbow Push website and you see how you have Saturday morning things and midweek things. What is it that drives you day to day to keep going? And what are the things you're focused on?
Well, I suppose in one sense it's my religion. You know, the struggle is my life. It is my ministry. It is my passion. Watching other people grow excites me. You must find what excites you in life, you know, what's important to you. They say that leaders plant seeds and trees will grow. You may never sit under the shade. I've been blessed long enough to plant seeds and watch trees grow in my lifetime. I remember coming to Houston with Dr. King one time. In 1967, we came to Houston with Dr. King and Aretha Franklin, and Harry Belafonte, and Andy Young. And there was great resistance in Houston against Dr. King because he was against the Vietnam War and challenging Lyndon Johnson's commitment to the Vietnam War. When we stepped on the stage in Houston, downtown Houston auditorium, somebody put tear gas in the fan. We had to evacuate the building. In Houston,
Wow.
when Dr. King was alive. You know, to Google it, when he was there in 1967. And Reverend Jim Lawson, Reverend Lawson, should I say, was our leader. He had the moral authority to command Dr. King's attention. Whenever I think about Houston, I think about Dr. Lawson, because he was such a force for good, such a force for Dr. King. And we should ever be grateful to him. But we had to leave that stage in a hurry because we got tear gas out of Houston. But we didn't stop. We still elected Barbara Jordan. We still elected Mickey Leland. We still elected Black for mayor. We didn't stop. So in some sense, it's not how fast you run, but how fast you get up when you're knocked down.
Wow.
Indeed.
Yeah. I agree.
Reverend Jackson, you were here.
Knocked down that night. They got back up again, and that's life.
Yeah. Reverend Jackson, you were here a few months ago for the Congressional Black Caucus reception, and our owner, Kathy Hughes, was there with you. And so
and Sheila Jackson Lee.
And Sheila Jackson Lee, yes, indeed. And so ironically, we had an all-staff meeting, and Kathy Hughes told us about your fiery speech/sermon that you gave about staying woke and paying attention to what is going on, because they're trying to pull the wool, but they're just blatantly, lying to our face. Can you just kind of
you better do that for
underscore what you said to the Black Congressional Caucus?
Yeah, that's what we want, Reverend Jack. We want that speech.
Preach,
the
brother.
politics of.
Preach, brother.
Well, I
Preach.
think the point is that you have to have a non-negotiable dignity, and when you have that, you stand on principle.
Yes.
But life, life doesn't come in buckets. It comes a second, and a minute, and an hour at a time. And every day, what is important must matter to you. So learn, and people care that you know, but they won't know that you care. Caring is a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And caring can get you past justice into grace. You care because somebody needs help.
Yeah.
I urge you. Your Mayor Sylvester Turner. When this crisis was, he was ready. Your mayor was ready.
Mm-hmm.
He became one of the great authorities of the country in crisis.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. And that's what preparation is a big deal. I want to thank Mayor Turner for being that force for goodness in your city and setting the pace for the rest of us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
indeed.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Jackson. The event is happening February
24th, Saturday night, February 24th, 6 o'clock, the ballroom at Bayou Place, downtown Houston. Do not miss it. Reverend Jackson will be there. We'll be there. Houston Community College's Black History Committee. All of the folks or students who are being honored are scholarship recipients. We look forward to seeing you.
Indeed. Thank you, Reverend Jackson, for your time to speaking with us, as well as you,
Well,
Dr.
thank Pastor Lawson Emeritus of this church in Houston and Rob
Yes.
Ellis and all my friends there and Shelley Davis, all my Houston friends. I look forward to being with you on the 24th, and let's make something happen. Through it all, let's keep them alive. We put Trump in the rump if we fight back.
Oh, that's a new one.
I
Trump
like
on his
that.
rump. Oh, I see
Indeed,
it. I see
indeed.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Carolyn Davis, Dr. Debra McGaughey, Dr.
McGaughey.
Michael Edwards, and, of course, Reverend Jesse Jackson. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, KG.
Thank you. And thank
you, Reverend
you.
Jackson.
Thank you.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth, welcoming in the studio a first-timer to the program. He is a filmmaker. I take it because he has a movie out called Blink the Movie. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Courtney Glaude. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I was just going off the top since you have a movie coming out that focuses on domestic violence. I was just like, he's a filmmaker.
He's a filmmaker. Yeah, I am a filmmaker raised here in Houston in the 5th Ward area on the north side, Trinity Garden area. I went to about 9 schools, so everybody knows me from like the north to the south side when I was in school. But yeah, I'm a Houston native.
Why 9 schools though?
Oh man, me and Mom's moved around a lot.
Moving around,
we moved around a lot, literally like 9 schools. I went to I think I went to like 3 schools every grade change. Like in elementary it was 3 schools, middle school was 3 schools, and in high school it was 3 schools.
So where'd you graduate from?
I went to CLC.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also attended Barbara Jordan around the same time. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
I know
okay.
more people from like Barbara Jordan though.
So you decided to do a film on domestic violence called Blink the Movie.
Right.
So give us a synopsis of what Blink is about.
Okay, so Blink basically follows a relationship between this lady named Naila Bell and this guy named Christopher Bell, and basically it goes through their journey in domestic violence and how they cope with it in their household. But it also follows up with the people that are around them. So it carries you through why people don't say anything when they see, like if I see my sister or I see my brother beating on his girlfriend or my sister getting beat on, why wouldn't I say anything, or a co-worker or anything else? So it's like a real life look at how people are affected by domestic violence, how they hide it, how they cope with it, what they think about it, and like everything involved in it.
So what made you want to make this type of film?
Well, like as a kid, my mom was in a domestic violence relationship, domestic violent relationship, and what made me so curious about it was it wasn't about him beating her or like anything. That the act wasn't really what caught my eye. It was really like 2 days later, he would come back and she would present him to me like with a bribe. Like it would always come with something. So he would come back with like a gift and she would present him back to me again, all like shiny and new. And that when I was a kid, that always confused me, because I'm like, and my mom's a straightforward woman, so she don't just randomly go out and buy stuff. We wasn't like that. We grew up in the hood. Pizza was a luxury. So if you come with that, you know there's something wrong with what you're doing. So I don't understand why you're choosing to do it. So, as an adult, you know, just growing up and like seeing a lot of things with her and just seeing a lot of things just in life, I was like, this is a topic that definitely need to be hit. And like a lot of people always tell me, like, we have Enough, the movie Enough. We have What's Love Got to Do with It, and then we have Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and all of these films are domestic violence films. But in Enough, to me, that's not realistic. Like, nobody's going to learn karate and then kicking their husband off the top of the stairs. That's not happening. And then with What's Love Got to Do with It, we're there for Tina. We there for the music. We were there. You're not really thinking about that. And also with Tyler Perry, Madea takes the show. You're not thinking about domestic violence. You laughing and thinking about Madea. All great movies, nothing against them, but to me, there isn't any authentic domestic violence movie
situations.
Right. That really tells like what really happens and what really goes on. And it happens a lot.
Indeed. Yeah. You listen to Access Houston. We're talking to Courtney Glaude, who is the director, producer, writer
right.
of the movie Blink, which will be out March the 2nd. And tonight, I understand that you're having a special screening for free at the Ensemble.
Yeah, we're doing a free screening tonight. It's going to play 30 minutes of the film, and then I'm bringing some of the cast with me, and I'm also bringing an expert on domestic violence to come and speak. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the 30 minutes, and then we're going to come out and just talk to the audience about why the film was made and why it's so important to get people to go see the film. But I wanted to bring somebody, because like people keep looking at me like as if I'm a domestic violence expert. Like, I'm not a domestic violence expert. I went out and did research, and I created a story around all of the things that I heard, the most common stories that I heard. But I wanted to bring out a Dr. Conti. She's coming out to speak with them about domestic violence and how it works. So, and the Ensemble was gracious enough to allow us to use their facility.
Absolutely. So when in your journey in filming this, doing the research on it, what were some of the things that really sparked you with the research? Like, was it human behavior? Well, human behavior is the whole thing as to why people do whatever they do from a psychological standpoint. But what was it that was just like, man, like, I don't understand why they stay, or I don't understand why they go back, or I don't understand why you are this weak to even want to put your hands on
somebody. Yeah, well, it was both. Really what'll catch you are the different excuses. Like, you think you know them all. You think, oh, she's scared. Oh, she don't have nobody. Nah, that's not always the excuse. Like, the excuse varies from, oh, there's nothing wrong with what he does. This is how it's supposed to be. My dad used to beat on my mama all the time. It's a human nature thing. Or, yeah, I don't want to break up my household because my dad and my mom stay married. So if I leave my husband, you see how like, it's a million reasons why women convince themselves to stay now. And in the same fact, men aren't the only abusers. Like, you have women too that you know get violent, that get heavy-handed, like and get
slapping
violent.
Up on their dudes.
Yeah, and even with dudes, like dudes, they're I believe, it's a mental, thing. It's how you grew up. Your dad showed you this was the way to treat a woman, and you just kind of go into it. And like some men don't even do it out of anger. It's not even anger. This is a lesson. It's basically like you see your woman as your child. So we spank our kids. So it's just like, hey,
everything reverts back to slavery.
Everything
that we do and how it all goes back to slavery.
It's a million. It's the stories though. The stories, and they do not want to confront. Like, they don't want to confront. Like, I tried to do a documentary. This was gonna be a documentary at first. I was gonna go around and just speak with women about nobody wanted to be on camera. I mean, verbatim, literally, no one wanted to be on camera. I'll tell you, but you can't. And that's not we've done that. We've done that already. That's still sweeping it under the rug. You can go get that's still sweeping it under the rug because that's still not bringing it to light. So I did it this way so that it can really be. This is a real life story in some form or way.
The people
fashion.
They didn't even want to be on
nah.
do the silhouette.
Nah, scared that if they
silhouette and voice change.
Yeah, see, they're scared because they're like, I don't know what you gonna do. I don't know if you gonna release this. You should release me walking in, or he might know how my head shaped. Because some of them still in the relationship though. So everybody I spoke with wasn't out of it. Some of it was just like, yeah, that's him calling me. Like, wow. Yeah, hey honey. Yeah, I'm getting dinner. You know, like it's real. Like it's real. Like everybody ain't found their way out. Everybody haven't found their answer on both ends. That
sort of possessiveness in an individual, that's I can't even think of the word to describe that. That's pretty it's a coping mechanism. You dealing with something. You dealing with whatever, or your mom did something to you. I always say everybody got issues, but the way that you deal with your issue and this is just from the male perspective, the way that you deal with your issue is you try to conquer. That's your way of conquering that issue. And then even a lot of times, somebody told me this a long time ago that pimps are, highlighted and looked at like men that have a lot of women. But in reality, pimps are some of the weakest men mentally ever. What they did was when a pimp or when a man can't conquer his life, he chooses to conquer the life of a woman. So the more women that this pimp have, the more of his life he don't feel that he's conquering. Because we're conquerors. We're meant to conquer life in general. And I always say this, God made Adam and made this whole world of things, and then made Eve to help Adam conquer this whole and control this whole land of things. So when Adam couldn't conquer this whole land of things, and I'm just using this in perspective, he look at Eve like, I gotta conquer you, and the only way I can conquer you is physically. That's how men think, by controlling you. That's basically how it boils down to. Wow. You listen to Access Houston. We're talking to Courtney Glaude, who is the filmmaker of the movie Blink, hitting theaters at the AMC theaters, March 2nd through the 8th here in Houston and in Atlanta. But tonight there's a special sneak peek of the film at the Ensemble Theater. What time is that this evening? That will be 6:30. 6:30 at the Ensemble. But a good thing that you are doing, you are partnering with a nonprofit called Partnership Against Domestic Violence. PADV. Yeah, we're partnering with them because we're going to set up a GoFundMe account to where people can donate, and all the funds from this GoFundMe will go directly to that nonprofit, because they help out a lot of women that can't find their way out. They provide counseling, sometimes places to stay, because a lot of times women are like, well, I can't get out because I don't have, and then I don't want anybody to get this confused. This isn't a black thing. Like this isn't a human issue. Oh yes, a human issue. And I mean and this isn't even a money thing. This isn't a poor thing. This isn't poor. This isn't a racial thing. This is a human issue, regardless of how much money you have. Well, there you go. Yeah. Where can they follow you on social? They can find me on any social media platform. Facebook, it's Courtney Glaude, last name Glaude. Instagram, it's Green Eyed Monster, but Monster is spelled MUNSTA. Or just put in Courtney Glaude and it'll find me. This is the first time I can say this out loud. You can Google me and find me. I'm so proud of that right now. Thanks to Thinkzilla. Shout out to Day and Velma. They're great. No doubt. Blink the movie. It's Courtney Glaude. Thank you for coming on the program, IG. Thank you for having me. And thank you. And thank you for listening to Access Houston.
We'll be back with more Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.